first official episode of the Lobo Sport Podcast. Um, in this first episode, we'll be discussing the recent struggles of the Giants and some quick recaps of this week's events in combat sports, mainly the UFC event in London, and then their upcoming events this week with the start of Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender series and UFC 277. Quickly, we can cover the San Francisco Giants, who last night lost another game, this time to the Arizona Diamondbacks, losing 7-0 in a game which I stopped watching at the fifth inning after they went down 2-0. And that's pretty much what I did for the past few games over this weekend as well, when they lost all four games to the Los Angeles Dodgers. And also, I'm not sure where this team goes after this. I don't think they're in the sweepstakes for Juan Soto. They're playing very lackluster, uninspired baseball right now. So, I don't know. I think this team, right now, I think they're at 500. Now they're a 500 team. So, I don't know. I don't know where they go for the rest of the season. I think they just might have to just wrap it up and start thinking of moves for next season, how to get better. That's all I can really say right now for the team, which is unfortunate after such a successful season last year. But now we can move on quickly and recap the events of UFC Fight Night in London, which I'm a bit late to, but there's not much to say about this card, honestly. The prelims, they're pretty lackluster, most of them. They all went to decision, except for Jonathan Pierce, who defeated Marwan Amirkhani with TKO in the second round. But some fighters have good performances. Nicholas Delby, Muhammad Mukayev, Nathaniel Wood put on a good performance against Charles Rosa. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but Ludovic Klein, I was impressed with him against Mason Jones. And then to open up the card, we had an interesting fight between Volkan Ozdemir and Paul Craig, who kept trying to pull guard the whole fight. But interesting fight. I thought it was a bit closer than the judges scored it, but overall I thought the right fighter won. Then next you had Molly McCann against Hannah Goldie, which really brought a much needed spark to the card with a first round spinning elbow to punches KO, the second one in a row for Molly McMahon. Very impressive fight for her. Might have to, I don't know where she goes from here. Definitely a step up in competition. Probably someone in the top 15, right outside the top 10. That's two impressive back-to-back knockout wins for her. Then next we have Nikita Krylov, who took on Alexander Gustafsson in a pretty depressing fight, I would say, if you're a long-time MMA fan after watching Gustafsson be at the top for many years. I don't know where Gustafsson might be trying to hang him up after this. I don't think he should have really came back. Honestly, it was hard to watch this fight, honestly. I like Nikita Krylov too, but it's just always sad watching the legends go down like that. But good win for Nikita Krylov, who keeps moving up in the light heavyweight division. And next we have the biggest fight on the card, which was Paddy Pimblett against Jordan Levitt, which was a fun fight. The build-up was for a fun fight. The fight itself was pretty fun too, I guess. But Paddy Pimblett came back after a tough first round for him and submitted Jordan Levitt with a second round rear naked choke. And like he said, he's pretty much a big star. He outgrew the O2 Arena for his next fight, which I was kind of hoping would be a main event against him and Ilia Topuria. I think that would be a big fight for them over in the UK, but he said he wants to fight on the big stage. He says he's outgrown the O2, so we'll see. But where he fights next. But I think that would be the best matchup for him next. There's a lot of hype behind them. They both have some bad blood. I think that'd be a big fight, no matter where it takes place. But yeah, that was a great performance by Paddy Pimblett in the second round. Came back. And before I forget, he had a great message as well. post-fight, talking about the friend that he lost and that the young child that passed away as well, unfortunately. So all my condolences and best wishes to their friends and family. That was a great message by Paddy Pimblett. They delivered post-fight in his interview. All right, moving on, we had a fight between Jack Hermanson and Chris Curtis in the second round. Hermanson looked pretty good, frustrated Curtis, and ultimately won a decision. And then finally, in the main event, we had an unfortunate ending to a fight between Curtis Blades and Tom Aspinall, which ended very quickly due to a knee injury. And there's not much to say for this event. That's pretty much it. The best thing about this card were definitely Paddy Pimblett and Molly McMahon. Next, we can move on to the first week of Dana White's Contender Series, the 6th season. We have 4 fights scheduled after one was canceled due to William Souza coming in, I believe, 10 pounds overweight, which is pretty ridiculous. But we have a solid first fight, which I'm interested in, between Alessandro Costa and Andres Luna Martinetti. Luna is 12-0 against Costa, who is 10-2. That seems to me like that fight sticks out to me as the most interesting fight on the card. But we got some other matchups between Dennis Busuchka and Khalil Romero. Sorry, I'm butchering these names. Antoine Turcalos takes on Garcia dos Santos. In the main event, you have Ozzy Diaz against Joseph Pfeiffer. Honestly, don't know much about any of these guys, but I'm interested to see how they perform and who gets a contract. But the fight that I'm definitely the most interested in is that Costa and Luna fight. Alright, moving on real quick, we move to this, the biggest event of this weekend coming up, UFC 277, a rematch between Juliana Pena and Amanda Nunes. Quickly, we can go over this card. Prelims, nothing really stands out. There's a few good names on here. You have Joe Close, Drew Dober, Alex Moreno is fighting. Orion, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but Orion from Dana White's Contender Series. He opens up the main card. Opens up the prelims. Sorry for that. And yeah, not that great of a card. But moving on to the main card, we have Magomed Ankalaev against Anthony Smith in a big fight for the light heavyweight division. I'm guessing the winner of this fight probably fights Jan Blachowicz for the number 1 contender spot, and then takes on the winner of the rematch between Glover and Jiri Prochazka. But yeah, that's a great fight. I'm looking forward to that one. Probably had to side with Ankalaev. He's been on a tear lately, but Anthony Smith is always a tough fight. He's been at the top. He's on a 3-5 winning streak, so that's good. So yeah, it should be a great fight right there. Next we have a flyweight fight between Alexandre Pantoja and Alex Perez. Good fight. I think I'm probably picking Pantoja to take that fight, but that's a solid flyweight fight. Next we have a solid heavyweight fight between Derek Lewis and Sergey Pavlovich. This fight, I'm not sure where it can go. Pavlovich, solid grappler, against Derek Lewis, who's a striker mainly. I'm not sure. I could see Pavlovich just grinding him up against the cage, trying to just hold him there, neutralize him. But Derek Lewis, as we know, has a lot of knockout power and can pretty much just score a knockout out of nowhere. We've seen him before come with those comeback knockouts. So I'm going to pick Lewis, but I'm not very confident in that pick. Next in the co-main, we have Brandon Moreno and Kai Kara France, a rematch from their first fight in, I believe it was 2019. But yeah, I saw that fight again recently, just to refresh my memory. And I don't know. I think this fight probably plays out a bit similar as the first one. Might be closer because they're both having more years of experience. But yeah, I think Brandon Moreno takes another decision against Kai Kara France. He's been on the tear lately. He's been looking amazing. He's in his prime. And I actually think he won his last fight against Davison Figueiredo. So I think he should be the champ right now. But yeah, this is a great fight. I enjoyed the first fight. Looking forward to the rematch. But I think Moreno's pressure will just be too much again for Kai Kara France. Kai Kara France is very skilled. He'll probably take a round or two, but ultimately I think Moreno takes another decision and wins the interim belt. Then the main event, we have the rematch between Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena, which I went back and rewatched as well. I don't know about this fight. Amanda to me personally, didn't look like herself the last fight. She dominated the first round, controlled it very well, but the second round, she came out like overly aggressive to me. It seemed like just trying to force a finish, which probably tired her out because she's putting a lot of power in her punches. And Juliana Pena came out very strong in the second round. Had a great jab, which was very effective. Was throwing a lot of punches in high volume, which I think threw Amanda off because Pena didn't give up in that second round after being dominated in the first. So I'm not sure how this fight goes. Depends on Amanda. I think she'll come out probably a bit more technical, fight a bit better this time around. So I'm gonna pick Amanda Nunes to win the rematch and get her belt back, but I'm not sure because I was impressed with Pena in that second round. She came back and was able to get that choke, which actually when I watched the video again the other day, it didn't look like it was all the way in. It looked like it was more on the chin, but maybe the pressure from like Pena squeezing on Nunes' chin was enough for her to make her tap. But I think Nunes comes out with a more clear mindset, probably performs better, has a more technical game plan, and probably wins this the rematch. But I'm not sure. Might be a close fight again. Well, the second round was close, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to both of those fights. But yeah, the main card has some solid fights if you're like a fight fan. But yeah, that should be a wrap for this event. I'm looking forward to it. And then moving on, we also have a boxing event that same day. The return of Danny Garcia, who hasn't fought since 2020 after losing to Errol Spence. He comes back and fights Jose Benavidez Jr. He's actually moving up a weight class, I believe at 154. So I'm interested to see how Danny Garcia performs at that weight. And moving up, I'm looking at the card right now. Sergey Derevyanchenko is on this card as well, which is nice to see. He's always an exciting fighter. He has some good fights against Daniel Jacobs and Gennady Golovkin, if you guys remember that. He also took on Jamel Charlo. And he's actually on a 3-fight losing streak, which is unfortunate, but hopefully he can get back on track when he takes on Joshua Conley. But yeah, that's the event this Saturday on, I believe it's on Showtime. Yeah, Showtime. Danny Garcia takes on Jose Benavidez Jr. And I'm probably going to wrap it up there for the first episode of the podcast. Sorry if I felt a bit rushed and all over the place. I'll try to have more structure for the next episode. But yeah, I just want to cover a few events, get an idea how I can improve the podcast and just how I can organize things from here on out. But for the first one, I feel like it went decent. I can definitely improve, I feel, on certain things. But yeah, tonight on today's Tuesday, I'm time of recording this. So yeah, tonight you have the Giants playing the Diamondbacks again at 6:40, and then you also have Dana White's Contender series starting up tonight as well. That starts at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Eastern time. 5 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Sorry about that, I got it mixed up. But yeah, I'll be watching on Pacific time. So 5 o'clock for Dana White Contender series, and then 6:40 for the Giants game, if anyone's interested in that. And with that, I want to say thank you for listening. Hopefully you'll listen to the next one. Hopefully it'll be a lot better. But yeah, that's the first episode of the Lobo Sports Podcast. Thank you for listening.